I'm Anna from Accessible Interiors. I'm an occupational therapist and I do a lot of work with home design. Today I'm going to be doing a video for APCAM and I'm going to be giving some advice on how we can structure our environment in order to help minimise anxiety. So one of the first things I would recommend would be to look at decluttering your environment. I think it's important to remember that in order to have a calm, clear mind, we need to make sure our environment is calm and clear as possible. So just have a look at everything around you in your house, in your rooms, and just see whether everything that you've got in sight needs to be there. Think about putting things away in drawers or in baskets or in cupboards, making sure that as you walk into a room that it feels nice and organised and nice and clear. I think it's important also to think about how much stuff you've got. Do you really need it? And if you do need it, do you need it to be kept where it is, or can you store it somewhere else? Have you got lots of multiples of everything that just sort of confuse things and make your drawers really busy and chaotic and make it difficult to find things? So just have a think about just making everything around you just less cluttered and more easier to find things, basically. The second thing would be being organised and making sure that everything has a place and that you know where that is. That will save lots of time and lots of stress when you're rushing around trying to find a school book or whatever it is. If you have a set place for it, you will know where to look and it will stop that feeling of panic. It's also really helpful for kids if you can have set places where things are kept. Kids adapt to routine and benefit from structure so much, so that if you have somewhere where things are kept, they will learn that quite quickly, and if you can put it back in the right place and they can learn where that place is, then that will save a lot of stress and anxiety. Also, make sure that in the evening before you go to bed, try and make sure that your house is organised and calm and that you haven't got lots of stuff everywhere that you want to have to deal with in the morning. I know in our house we do, I call it a nightly sweep, and basically everybody in our family grabs a bag. The kids are very much encouraged to do this, and they're asked to go around the house, and everything that they've left throughout the day, games or whatever it might be, I get them to collect their own stuff and take it up to the room, so that when I come down the next morning, everything is nice and calm and I can start afresh rather than having to clear up yesterday's mess. So I think it's just about making sure that everything has a place, staying and making sure that everything is as organised and clutter-free as possible. It's also quite useful to have lots of visual reminders around you, especially if you are feeling quite anxious. Your mind probably won't be as focused and working as efficiently as it should be. So making sure that you have lots of reminders to remind you of important things can just take away a bit of that stress. So for example, I put post-it notes on my fridge. I have a big blackboard wall that I use quite a lot, and I use that a lot for the kids to remind them of things. It might be having a picture frame with just some clear glass on it, and you can use window markers on that, or even writing on patio doors, whatever it might be. Having lots of visual reminders around you will just take that pressure off. One, having to remember things, but also will just help everybody else in your family stay organised and focused as well. The other thing I would really recommend is just making sure that you have space for everything you need to do in your house and zoning your spaces. So making sure that you have a clear, calm room that you can go to in order to just relax and utilise the anxiety strategies that you might need, whether that's doing mindfulness, meditation, exercise. I think it's really important that we all have a space for exercise in our house. We all know the benefits of exercise, and I'll be doing another video about that, but having somewhere where, whether it's doing yoga, Tai Chi, running, whatever you want to do, having a space that you can easily transform into an exercise space is really important, and I think that's also quite important for kids. You might be able to use your garden, but if not, make sure you can just push tables out the way. You might have a mat maybe or something that you can use, but make sure that you're zoning your spaces so that your environment does everything you need it to do. So a calm, relaxing space. You might have a different space for you and a different space for your kids. I know when my kids were a bit younger, I had a corner of the playroom where I had a little den for them basically, and that was somewhere they could go to calm down when they felt a bit overwhelmed. And making sure that everything just remains ordered and organised will really help your mind to feel calm and focused. Also, if you're designing a house or redecorating or anything like that, just have a bit of a think about the colours that you're using. Certain colours promote calmness. I know a lot of pinks and stuff are, they use it to, you know, increase calmness and focus. So just think about the colours you use, having nice textures, making your house feel as comfortable as possible, thinking about the temperature. You want it to be warm when you need it warm, but you also want it to be cool so that you don't feel flustered by getting too hot and bothered. So invest in some good fans. Just make sure your house does what you need it to do. If you need any specific tips, please feel free to send me a comment and I can give some more tailored advice. Okay, thank you. See you again. Bye.